shit, nigga.
You don't know how I feel. I'm for it. You don't know how I feel. I'm for it. You don't know how I feel. I'm for it. You don't know how I feel. I'm for it. You don't know how I feel. I'm for it. You don't know how I feel. I'm for it. You don't know how I feel.
Shit, nigga.
I'm for it.
Yo, where my bitches at?
How I feel. I'm for it.
Shout out to Double O, we about to go schizo. Out the coast, fist clenching my O's, hit licks and skid roll. Mistletoe, kiss the dick, same lips, smooch a kiddo. My ratchet bitch, low coke sniffing, boots a little. Just a bitch I never saw when I'm bent. Got this fickle wench, I really dig. My prissy city boo, be a snob, what you want, bitch, I'm cute. Run a business as it start to flow out the roof. Who porn, fish of blue, Timberland boots in the summer with shorts. My nigga Cam militant, up in the forts of fan villages. Band with the chillin', blue stamps, the handstands was pilgrimage. Yo, fluorescent blue lamp, my new trend. I stay swimming in. You know what a nigga mean if you had Dominican. Damn like damn, the band's looking thin a glam. Bitch a fan, went to Japan. Got you wasting no shit, tramp, pick up your pants. We with the fam, yo. Who you really love the most? Used to hug post, sharp rope by crack vows and gun smoke. Man, hunt by the dumpster, the funds double down. Fill up top that. Niggas rewind that and wonder. Who you really love the most? Used to hug post, sharp rope by crack vows and gun smoke. Man, hunt by the dumpster, the funds double down. Fill up that. Niggas rewind that and wonder.
Yeah. Fresh out the way and make you running for your life with the J's. Make no mistakes, Bluetooth and clip rope in the cake. Roll foot bass, he loping with Tiffany in the safe. Fuck your day, don't speak for the guy, do not mace. I've been the ball walking for a long time, I guess myself. The face plus with no guilt, wrapped in the court. Intimidated by the AC, she pissing her mouth. The velvet is couch, we got the hand also for clout. The 2 plus free filter sauce, cutting the cost. With the vibes in the suit, watch the rest in the vault. Crip walk in the 3rd grade, I never got caught. The line leader got the shine secret deep in the 360s. Repeated sickness, clear thoughts, distorted vision. I was getting pussy before the mentions. You only special if you suck a dick on that handstand. To read the stories to the scene, we had no accident there.
I feel. I'm for it.
Peace. Impromptu Brownstone Powwow solo. I'm not expecting a lot of people to show up tonight. I just figured that I'd get my thoughts across because, I've been feeling some type of way about a lot of things that's been happening out in the real world. And, too many times I'm seeing brothers get involved in like a lot of crime. And so the narrative about the so-called black man, like I have frustrations towards a lot of different things, but I'm trying to narrow it down so that I can really get to the point that I really want to make, even though it's kind of like answered. But like my whole entire thing is when we speak, like one thing that I've noticed, right, living in the city that I'm living in, right, we have a so-called black mayor, right, and then the fact of the matter is crime rates throughout the roof. And then also it's just this whole entire big problem now with drill rap, which is something I'm going to get into a little bit later tonight. But I really want to make this known. It bothers me a little bit because it's like dudes have made arguments about the so-called Pookie and Ray Ray. And, you see about like a lot of these crimes that's happening out in society. Niggas is arguing on Clubhouse. And, I'm sitting back like, yo, like the Super Bowl just happened and you see Snoop Dogg just repping the fact that he's a Crip. And, us as so-called black men, we have every right to be angry about our image in this society, how we looked at. Like we still looked at as thugs and degenerates 30 to 40 years down the line. And I started thinking to myself today, if I seen another brother on the street, would I start looking at him different? Like, yo, he's going to sit up there and jump me, or he's going to sit up there and want to punch me, or, you know, assault me. And I had to really take this in stride. Like, you know, it's really funny how, you know, we say we don't like being stereotyped, but do brothers stereotype each other? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really something I think about, because I even remember one time I seen two so-called black dudes like around my age, and I'm sitting on a corner minding my own business by a bus stop, just chilling, you know what I'm saying, before I get on a train. And so I'm just sitting there and I see these dudes, and I don't know what is it about them, but they had this stilo, like, you know, they look like they would be up to no good. And so I'm just like, you know, I think I might have something in my pocket in case these dudes act up. But they didn't. They was just merely just waiting for the bus, and they got on. And I was just feeling like, damn, like, really think about that for a second. Why is it that I'm looking at these dudes whose fellow brothers, they're going to be looking at me crazy, and so I'm looking at them crazy, like, what you about to do? And so that gets me into my conversation tonight, because I'm honestly not liking all of the crime that's happening in my city, let alone the whole entire country. And so why it bothers me is because when I want to give the benefit of the doubt and I say it's not a lot of so-called black men that's doing it, it is a lot of so-called black men that's doing it. And with them is also the so-called Latinos, which is primarily the Puerto Ricans and Dominicans that's going ahead and committing the crimes. Like a couple of weeks ago, there was a shootout in the Bronx where they was close to each other, right? Two Latinos, I don't know if they was Puerto Rican or Dominican, looked like they were Dominican. And so they're coming out outside the building. There's two of them coming out at first, 2 to 3 or 4 of them that's coming out the building. They turn right around and they start shooting inside the building they just came out of. And those two spin, I don't know who got shot or whatever. This hospital that's in another borough, there was somebody in that hospital that shot at somebody in the hospital, right? Just the other day, somebody shot near a hospital. And, you know, why it really bothers me is because it's just too much stuff going on at once. And I'm trying to understand for myself, like, wait, hold on. We got all this crime going on. We got all these different things that's going on with these brothers. And I'm sitting back like, yo, like, y'all doing the most right now. So allow me to assess. There was something that went on a couple of days ago in which a so-called black man who's 25 years old went ahead and followed this Asian woman to her apartment on the 6th floor and stabbed her 40 times to death. Then he tried to barricade himself because he knew that he was surrounded by cops, and they caught him anyway. And now he's on all these charges when he had a lot of charges to his name before he stabbed that Asian woman. And what annoys me about the situation is you have the Manhattan Borough President, Mark Levine, who's sitting outside, sitting up there saying, oh, this was an Asian hate crime. And you know Joe Biden already passed that bill for the Asian hate crime bill. And so I'm sitting back like, how do we know this was an Asian hate crime? Like, why are we going ahead and talking about this is an Asian hate crime? This is an Asian hate crime. How do we know that? You know what I'm saying? And like, just because the dude did that, which was wrong, would it be the same narrative if it was a so-called white man, or if it was a so-called Latino, or it was anybody else for that matter, or an Indian man that decided to go ahead and stab someone? And how you don't know that there's some type of fetish that people get off of killing somebody else, and it doesn't have to do with race? You can't call it. And plus, the fact of the matter is, this kid in particular, I don't even like calling him a kid. This young man in particular was 25 and homeless. I think his name was Assam. This brother has a slew of charges. And my thing about it is that they said that he has no mental issues because he had to be evaluated in a psych ward. And then all of a sudden they say, oh, well, this is Asian hate. This is Asian hate. And part of me, I don't like that shit. because it's a narrative that gets pushed, and because Mark Levine is the one that's up there pushing this shit. Now all of a sudden you're gonna have these Asians looking at so-called black men different, and so-called black men like myself who's doing their day-to-days, going to work and minding my own business. How you don't know this is gonna spark some nation against nation shit? The fact of the matter that when you see me as a so-called black man, you think that I'm going to harm you, and I have no interest in harming you. You understand me? So I'm conflicted in a space where I say that person doesn't represent me. But we all know that when it comes to the collective of so-called black men, we are represented in a certain way that we don't like. You understand what I'm saying? And that these people will find a reason to push a narrative and then sit up there and say, oh, well, y'all like this and y'all like that. But all this crime that's going on in this city, I'm just sitting back like, damn, yo, like, why are you brothers doing this shit? Like, why are y'all out here fulfilling the nonsense, bro? And we have a so-called black mayor. So I'm not understanding why y'all not on y'all 10 toes and, you know, trying to just be better than what it is in society. Like, who opened up the floodgates for all this stuff to happen? Like, stuff happening on subways, stuff happening out in the streets, stuff that's happening in people's apartments. Like, just the other day, there's a brother that had a flamethrower and was sitting up there shooting the fire at another man because his woman was cheating on him with that dude. And you sit here, you like, how this nigga got a flamethrower? And he's sitting up there shooting that joint out to homeboy. Like, how is that? How did he get his hands on a flamethrower? Then before that, when de Blasio was in office, we had the whole entire problem with the ATVs and the motorcycles that was illegal. The cops wanted to take it off for the streets. A lot of residents started getting angry about it. And so with that, what happened with that was, you know, there was a call for action to get those joints off the streets. But cops had a certain limitation to how they could handle the problem, and they couldn't really chase those dudes on the dirt bikes. So no reinforcement, nothing's happening, and all this other stuff, and then bam, they just didn't wind up doing anything. So when there's nice weather outside, come the spring and the summertime, you can expect them to be going ahead and, you know, doing what they're doing on those bikes. Okay? And like I said, I just feel some type of way because even though I know I'm not like them, when we get into this whole entire quote unquote Pookie and Ray Ray situation, where's the guides for these brothers? Where's the organizations that sit up there helping these dudes, these nagas out, as Bronze like to say, these nagas? Where are these organizations? The Hebrew Israelites could have a hand in it too. You know what I'm saying? Besides the books and this, that, and third, y'all could be out here formulating a way to have these patrols. And then the fact of the matter, you got these brothers attacking the so-called Jewish people. You have them attacking, like they want to say Asians, based off that situation. And then here's another thing that happened. I was just watching the news today about how they have a young 20-year-old so-called black man in Long Island that was shot on a train. You understand me? With someone I guess he knew. He got shot on a Long Island Railroad train. Okay? He got shot and killed on a train. Now, granted, this was 1 a.m, right? This was 1 a.m. on a train headed to Penn Station. Didn't even move out the train station yet. It was in Ronkonkoma, which is a terminal stop, right? And so this 20-year-old, I don't even know what happened, what was the whole entire thing. He just got shot and he died. And they put a yellow tarp on the door and nobody could move and this, that, and the third. Now, the thing about it is this guy was so young. He was 20 years old, right? 20 years old. How the fuck? Yo, I'm trying to understand this for myself because a crime like this hasn't happened off of the Long Island Railroad since 1993 with Colin Ferguson, who was not mentally well. He sat there and shot about 23 people. 6 of them died, 17 got injured. This incident, one person died. All right. And I'm saying all this because I don't know why we say all day, fuck a so-called Pookie and Ray Ray, fuck a gangster, this, that, and the third, they're ruining the community. We say that because we're tired of the image and we're tired of the persona that those dudes is afflicting upon us who are everyday, regular so-called black men when we're working hard in society, doing what we're supposed to do. And unfortunately, by the media standards, we're being overshadowed by them. You understand? I feel some type of way about all this shit that's going on, to be honest with you. And I just feel like there has to be a deeper reasoning into why a lot of these brothers is acting out and doing all this fuck shit around the city and around the country. There's a reason for it. You're not going to just tell me dudes just randomly decided to go ahead and start a string of violence in the beginning of 2022 of the Gregorian calendar. You're not going to sit here and tell me they just randomly started. It has to be a reason. And we can blame it on a pandemic. We can blame it on we can blame it on the whole entire fucking the unemployment and the great resignation. You understand what I'm saying? And exactly, wacky, like it's too wild right now, yo. Like that was in '93. And today, I don't know if you heard, maybe you did hear, but that situation that happened in Ronkonkoma with the so-called black dude that got shot reminded me of Colin Ferguson, because that's the second time I've ever heard of a Long Island Railroad shooting. Okay, that's the second time. The first time, you know, we had the whole entire court case, the proceedings back in 1995, where Colin Ferguson wanted to represent himself and say, I didn't shoot anybody, or he wanted to defend himself. The dude was on some issues. The dude was on some meds, and I will definitely say he was on some meds. But my point of saying this is it is really making me feel some type of way. And I'm just, because I'm like, even though inherently we know as men, we're not like them dudes, we're still affiliated with them at the end of the day. And it's like, I don't like to get into community talk. I don't like to, but it's just a lot of shit on my mind that I think about so-called black men, because I hold so-called black men in high regards. Now, of course, I'm not a saint. I do some stupid nigga shit from time to time. I do stupid shit too. I'm not going to sit up there and ever say that I cannot be judged or I cannot be critiqued. I could rightfully be critiqued at the end of the day, and I accept that. But when I see stupid shit like this, and then you have this whole entire thing that's going on with drill music, it's like, why, what is it going to take? You understand what I'm saying? Because Mayor de Blasio come up with this whole entire thing with drill music, and a ban of drill music. Is Lori Lightfoot in Chicago going to follow suit? Where drill comes from, the Chicago drill come from since 2012. Is she going to put her foot down and say, hey, yo, cut it with the drill music? We not going to do all that. You know what I'm saying? Like in London, ironically, in London, drill is something out there. Is Sadiq Khan going to sit up there and say something about this drill rap and about how it's having a negative response, agitating and exaggerating the gang scene that's happening around the world? Drill is so bad, it's going to Australia. Okay? It's really something that I'm really starting to figure out. And I'm like, yo, politicians should not be responsible for the behavior of a particular race. No, they shouldn't. It is up to the village, and it is up to the individual mindset for men to fix themselves. But we're not going to get nowhere when we go ahead and we talk bullshit about no fucking solutions, right? Let me look at this comment. Peace, Alexis Kinsey Davis. What's going on? Glad to see you back. I didn't hear that news, but it's messed up, SMH. The LIRR is usually safe, so it's strange whenever something like this happens. Yes. And even when, Wacky, it's in a sketchy area, you don't get that feel like something is going to happen to you. Like, the most dangerous stop to me on the Ronkonkoma branch was Wyandanch. And I used to joke about Wyandanch all the time. I used to say Wyandanch is like Compton. But even at Wine Dance, you wasn't getting the whole entire idea something was going to happen to you, or you was going to get robbed, or somebody was going to get shot on the train. Now, the only thing that happens on the Long Island Railroad is that you get rambunctious Italians on there that talk a lot of shit, and that they be sitting up there drinking beer from stop to stop. But that's all you get. But LIRR is definitely safe. You know what I'm saying? And I used to ride on the Babylon line, the Ronkonkoma line, and the Huntington line. Those used to be my top 3 lines to ride on the Long Island Railroad. But going back to what I was saying, I don't know about you, but it just really bothers me because I'm just like, you see the joint that happened with Assam, and once New York won, or no, not even New York won, Mark Levine, who's the Manhattan Borough president, heard the news, he automatically sat there and said it's Asian hate. And I'm sitting here like, that's not the case. You can't just blame that just because it's a so-called black man. You out of here sitting up there talking about, oh, it's Asian hate. Because I guarantee you it could be any race of person that could perpetuate some type of hate crime towards a so-called Asian person. It's not towards the so-called black man. So I'm not falling for the bait on that. Nonetheless, rest in peace to that woman that lost her life, because she did not need to lose her life. That was not something that needed to happen. Of course not, right? And another thing that bugs me about the situation, and I'm not saying she's at fault for this, because I had to do a little bit of thinking, critical thinking on this, and I'm not, trust me, when I'm having this conversation, I'm not blaming her. She had no right to get stabbed up and die the way she did. 4 a.m, and somebody's walking behind you. You're not cognizant at first, and I get that. I'm just trying to understand the scope of when you're walking up the stairs and how close or how far does someone need to be behind you for them to not see you, and you're going ahead with the predatory mindset to go ahead and kill them. Wouldn't you hear some cracks in the steps? Wouldn't you hear fellow footsteps? Wouldn't you hear certain things that would trigger you to look back at that person or look back at your surroundings and say, there might be something going on, but I can't call it. I feel like something is behind me. And it's just something I thought about. Maybe I might be wrong on saying that, but it's just something I firmly just believe, and I really cannot call it. And so getting into that story, there's too many stories where I've bumped into fellow knuckleheads on trains, and they ready to fight me. They ready to sit up there and look at me crazy, all because I'm minding my business and I'm trying to go home. I ain't even trying to beef with nobody. I'm trying to get home, go to sleep, go to work the next day. That's it. And unfortunately, it don't be the so-called white people, especially the ones that live in a gentrified area. It be your own brothers and sisters. It be your own brothers. And then it be the so-called Latinos that do the fuck shit. Because I don't consider so-called Latinos that different from us. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? And I was going to loosely blame it on the 12 tribes of Israel, but it's not. I mean, I just don't see a difference with Puerto Ricans, Dominicans versus so-called African Americans, Haitians, Jamaicans. I look at them all the same. You know what I'm saying? I look at y'all all the same. But the situations I've been involved in which there's almost been an altercation has been from them. And so I want to give brothers the benefit of the doubt and be like, you know what? I'm going to chill off you. You got a little hard head. You just starting a little something. Just don't say nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? Don't say nothing to me. Let me be on my merry way. It was good. But of course, living in the city that I live in, you got to hold your own fucking nuts and be like, yo, look, listen, I'm going to have to take out a shank. I'm going to have to do something so I can warn you. Yo, don't get it twisted like you gonna run up on me and shit ain't gonna get shaky out here, bro. If you got static, I got static too. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to be like that, because I just want to be like, look, I don't want no drama with nobody like outside. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not focused on you. I'm focused on getting my bread. I'm focused on getting my money. If we can link up as brothers and we sit down, look, even on the virtual sphere, I'll tell you now, behind this avatar, if you ever wanted to meet Bronzebird in person and you're not on some shaky shit, I'll show you my love. I will show you my love, for real. But going back to what I'm talking about, it's like, where the fuck do I stand? Because all of this crime that's going out here, I don't even feel like being outside half of the time. I don't. Wacky and Kanan, how the fuck do you shoot somebody in Jacoby Hospital? Besides that, how do you shoot somebody in a hospital? Bro, like I'm trying to understand. The last time it was a shooting on a train was about 2 to 3 years ago when you had a Colombian gang, Central American gang, whatever. They did a whole entire shootout on 82nd Street, Jackson Heights, off of the 7 train. Okay? A gang in Queens did a whole entire shootout that left somebody dead on the platform. And this city got me thinking, like, God damn, I would have never really thought to myself, I don't feel too tough about what's going on now. And as much as I want to give brothers the benefit of the doubt, I can't. And this is not about me being an uppity Negro, uppity nigga, none of that, because I don't think that I'm better than everybody. I'm just here. I'm a student of life. I'm someone who's just learning my way, who's trying to come into my own, who's just trying to do the right thing and stay out of trouble, stay out of Dodge. And the factor that I go into certain neighborhoods and the next day I'm hearing there was gunshots in that area. There was gunshots in that area. I'm sitting here like, yo, buses, public buses, the MTA buses is getting shot up. What the fuck? And then, like I said, and because I'm gonna be doing a powwow, I believe Friday or Saturday, about music. It's related, but it's unrelated. We're gonna be talking about on Friday or Saturday about how a lot of old music is being more honored than new music. And it just reminds me, a lot of these dudes say that drill isn't the problem. Drill isn't the problem. Social media is the problem, right? I'm gonna read exactly what y'all said. So he says, I remember that some of our kind has to go. Yes, they do. And I'm gonna touch on that in a second, right? I'm glad you put that up there. Bro, Brooklyn has always been this way. Social media is just putting a spotlight on it. You have a point. You definitely have a point, because even certain areas in Brooklyn, I never, ever, ever, ever wanted to touch. Like, for example, I never wanted to go to Red Hook. Bedside was questionable. Bushwick was like whatever, right? I never wanted to go to East New York. I hated East New York. I never wanted to go to Broadway Junction. Facts. I hated that fucking escalator from the A train going all the way up to the mezzanine where the J and the Z and the L train meets. I never wanted to be in East New York. You get the vibe from Brooklyn cats, they ain't taking no shit. You look at them funny, they ready to sit up there and size you up. Never like rolling in certain parts of Brooklyn. I never liked it. So you have a point, but it's just that when it came to this whole entire thing about the Brooklyn drill scene and about social media, it's so easy now to go up on there and talk about your ops. It's so easy to go on there and talk about, if I see you out there, if I see you out here, bro, your man's in this and the third gonna get finished. But I'm just like, with this drill rap, something's gotta give. Because I just watched how they had teenage kids sit up there and talk about, we see your man's out there, he's getting shot. The guns is on social media, y'all. The guns is on, the money is on social media. You got the regular old shit and this, that, and the third and blah, 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 like, whatever. The fuck? Like, also, I forgot to say this. I used to hate Brownsville. You could not pay me a day to chill in Brownsville. All those goddamn projects over there by like Sutter Avenue and this, that, and the third where the 3 turnings at, you couldn't pay me $1 million to chill in Brownsville. Hated Brownsville. Hated Brownsville, hated East New York. Canarsie, I just started like kind of getting into like the past 10 years, but you couldn't pay me a stack to chill in Brownsville. I hated Brownsville. You know what I'm saying? Hated Brownsville. And so going back to what I'm saying, it's just like you see this stuff on social media, and it's like I told y'all the last live stream, I didn't like the fact of the matter, a lot of these old heads who want to connect with these dudes so much. Yo, you used to live on Ralph and Sutter. Oh my God, yo. Oh my God. I chilled for a little bit on Mother Gaston Boulevard, or Mother Gaston's, I think it's Mother Gaston's Boulevard. I remember I went over there for an event back in those days where I used to try to be down with the Pan African brothers, because they had a organization over there, so I wanted to support them. So I used to chill. I took the 3 train to, I think, Rockaway Avenue. I forgot what stop it was, man. But yeah, man, you couldn't pay me a stack to chill in Brownsville. I wouldn't even like hanging out with New Lots. But getting back to what I'm talking about, seeing these dudes on social media, you know, and talking about the old heads, to me, I mean, Eric Adams had a meeting with the drill rappers today. And a part of me wants to say, you know, cut it with the nigga shit, because you're not going to sit here and convince me and tell me it's not the music that's not influencing these dudes to do what they're doing and, you know, telling themselves when it comes to social media. Every time I do these streams or every time I do these videos, I'm talking to you guys about the degenerates. And I had to look at myself like, am I bigging myself up and saying, you know, fuck these niggas and this, that, and the third because I don't like them? Because offline, if I seen a quote unquote Pookie and Ray Ray, which might see around it, I see in the neighborhood every day, I'm dapping them up. I'm like, yo, what up? And blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? I've looked at them. I said, yo, what's up? Because certain amount of them brothers might be quote unquote Pookies and Ray Rays, or might be in gangs. But when you have a conversations with these dudes and they say, yo, I'm trying to work, I'm trying to get a job, I'm trying to make money, I'm trying to make flips and this, that, and the third. Now, some of them might be on some type of like, you know, yo, I got a scam for you and this, that, and the third. I'm like, brother, do you? I'm good. Because the way that I've been raised, I've been raised, luckily, to always view people as my equal. Now, I'm not a dummy. Now, I know not to have conversations with dudes and get into long-winded conversations about stuff. And I know certain dudes not to chill with. Like, I'm like, look, that's not me. I'll stick to looking like the hipster. I'll stick to looking like the quote-unquote nerd. Whatever. I don't identify myself as an educated lame. I'm just who I am. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's been families members who wanted to see what I would look, how I would stand in that gang life shit. And I'd be like, I'm not doing no fucking gang life shit. I'm too much of a loser to get involved in that. Like, listen, I like going to work. I like making money. I like sitting up there traveling. And I'm going to say this just for a tip. I encourage every brother that's listening into the stream that lives in New York, get outside of New York City sometimes. Visit New York State. There's definitely golden gems in New York State that you have not discovered that is completely beautiful. I will tell you that. I don't care if you tell me, oh, well, I've been to Westchester, I've been to Yonkers. I don't give a damn. Shout outs to Gold Professor in the building. Shout outs to you, bro. Subscribe to that brother's channel. I be trying to watch this joint, but it be in the morning, so I still be asleep. But nonetheless, Gold Professor is a dope dude. Shout outs to that brother. And, you know, when you go to different places in New York State, it's such a beautiful, riveting, like, spot. Like, the only thing, like, because I would move to New York State. I would. Like, you have towns like Hudson, Troy, Poughkeepsie, Wyzak. You have a couple of places like that's just completely like beautiful. Long Island has a lot of beautiful towns, and a lot of people don't even think about. A lot of people think about Long Island before they think about upstate. That's true. A lot of people just be like, I'll go to Long Island and this, that, and the third. Like, I'll go as far as Nassau County, but I ain't fucking with Suffolk County. You know what I'm saying? But I say it like this, family. Like, I really tell you, get out of New York City sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like I look, it, as much as we don't think it's accessible by other modes of transportation, like you need a car, you can go to Bear Mountain. Bear Mountain has like one of the beautiful trails that I've ever seen, overlooking the Hudson River and all that other stuff, right? I've been to Bear Mountain. I've been to Poughkeepsie. I've been to I think I've been to Binghamton. I don't know if I've been to Buffalo. Albany I've been to. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of beautiful places in New York State that y'all are overlooking because y'all just like New York City, I'm done. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go da 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 da. And I'm like, okay, you're free to move wherever you want, but give other places in the state a try. So that when you come back to New York City, you're like, ooh, wow, like I'm back in this fucking dump again. You know what I'm saying? Like this place is horrible. And I mean, like, let's be honest, fellas. Like Staten Island is not even a bad place to hang out. I mean, I know like you got those like racist Italians, but I mean, if you go with friends and stuff like that, there's a lot of spots in Staten Island that's beautiful too. And the reason why I say that is because I want brothers to have an expanded mind, not to stay stagnant into the belief you have to stay in the city all day long. I know the 9 to 5 and the hustle is strong, but it just made me think about a lot of stuff when I prepared this topic because this was on the fly. But I thought about it today and I was just like, damn, like too many of our brothers is just getting into fuck shit. I'm looking at the stuff that happened with Eric Adams and the whole thing that's happening with the drill rap scene. And I'm like, I mean, gangster rap music is not new. You know what I'm saying? So the only reason it's being amplified now because we have social media. And yes, a lot of brothers tell on themselves. They have no problems putting up these guns in the videos and then having all this money and then, you know, yeah, I got this, I got that. The superficial shit, it don't make any sense, right? I've seen dudes make rap videos in their hood with a nice ass car or foreign car in front of a fucking grocery store. They'll have the Ak people come outside and chill with them and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you'll be sitting up there, you'll be like, well, the Ak own the store, you don't. And that car you driving or that car you have for the video is rented. So why the fuck are you flexing that shit in that video when you don't own that shit? You don't even own a fucking business in the community and you got that shit in the goddamn thing, bro. Like, fuck that. And getting back to this drill thing, I'm about to read y'all comments in the chat. Peace to Absalom. Subscribe to that brother. He also makes music too. Back to what is it that I was talking about. I mean, I think it's a beautiful thing that brothers want to come along and they might feel like their representation is something as far-fetched, but something's got to give. I'm not asking everybody to be kumbaya. I'm not asking for music to be about the struggle and talk about power. We need to come together. I'm not asking for all that. You know, like I tell y'all before, I can definitely listen to some fuck shit music when I want to. I'm not a saint. I know that I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about balance. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand half of these niggas that rap nowadays anyway. So you do find me listening to a lot of 90s rap and all this other stuff. Even 90s rap really still wasn't good. You know, to the status quo of the so-called black man in the 90s. It wasn't. But let me stop and read y'all comments for a second before I dig deep into my other topics. Have you been to the South Bronx? How about East 183rd? What about Soundview or High Bridge? Bro, I got family from High Bridge. Are you kidding me? High Bridge over there on Ogden Avenue. God damn it. What's that other street that's over there? Shout outs to my homies on 130, what is it? 180, 170th, Webster Avenue, Grand Concourse. I got family in High Bridge. Come on now. 183rd and what though, Kanan? 183rd and like what? Like you gotta tell me where on East 183rd. Like, are you talking over there by like White Plains or something like that? Like, where are you talking about? Bro, I know the Bronx like the back of my hand, homie. Like, this is too easy. Come on now. Ogden Avenue. What's that avenue that start with a W? It's an avenue on yo, I swear to God, it's an avenue on like when you go up that big ass hill that's not far away from Major Deacon Expressway, wherever that shit is. I've been to High Bridge Projects before. That ain't nothing. They have High Bridge Projects and they got that school that's right there. And then if you go down the street, that's where the BX13 is at. And they got that big ass supermarket that's right there next to the high rise. I know High Bridge like the back of my hand. I got family in High Bridge. Please. You ain't talking to somebody who don't know what's up, bro. I know that shit. It's not Washington Avenue, bro. It's another avenue that's not far from Ogden. But yeah, shout out to Washington Avenue. But well, okay. But yeah, bro. And you talking about Soundview? Bro, I've been to Soundview. What? I ain't proud of it. I ain't really like bragging like Soundview. Oh, what's that dude? You had that dude that used to rap back a couple of years ago. I'm from Castle Hill. I'm from Soundview. That dude, Hocus 45. I think his name is Hocus 45. And a big rest in peace to the homie, the brother that died from COVID. God damn it. Freddie the Godson. You know, rest in peace to Freddie the Godson, man. I met that dude before. He's really cool. You know, Freddie the Godson, rest in peace to that dude, man. He died, and it's like he was fighting, bro. And seriously, you know what I'm saying? But get into why Optimum is talking about. If the young bulls can put some positivity to them drill beats, they got something on their heads. Yeah, Fred the Godson. I'm sorry, Fred the Godson. But yeah, rest in peace to Fred the Godson. And this is the thing. When I had seen the segment today on the news about the whole entire thing that happened with the drill rap and Eric Adams meeting up with them, with the young boys to talk about drill rap, you have this dude from Brownsville that's sitting up there talking about, yo, we just talking about, you know, the struggle and the things that we go through. And that's one of the things I can't stand with our people, bro. Enough is enough. Like, why are we not celebrating the positive shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't we get a real estate agent that's out here talking about, yo, I just made a whole entire sale off this real estate and I'm making money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not the one to brag about money. I'm not the one to brag about riches. I'm not about that shit at all. But at the same time, I want to see a so-called black man get paid. I want my brothers to be successful. And even when our brothers are successful, we need a code of conduct. You understand me? I don't want to hear no struggle stories about, oh, well, you know, I was raised in the projects and it was me, my father wasn't there, and this, that, and the third. I'm not saying those stories don't need to be heard, but we have to be able to swing the narrative. We have to be like, yeah, I was raised by a single mother, so what? I'm making money. I got my own business. Shout outs to the brother A Hall. I was just watching his stream today. He was talking about IRAs. Okay. I was listening to his streams and I asked questions. Brothers like that, I want to hear from. You understand what I'm saying? That inspires me. Even if you do rap songs that's hitting you up about business, what are we talking about lucrative business about, bro? And that's why that's why I want to have this conversation, because like I said, it just really bothers me. It does. Because the last time you seen all this drama that's happening, you seen it with our brothers. Just in Brooklyn on Kings Highway, I forgot what avenue, there's looked like a Spanish kid, looked like he could have been Dominican. Still a brother to me. He goes up to this Jewish man and he punches him in the face and then runs off. And I'm like, damn, bro. I'm like, fuck, bro. Like, why is it always this fuck shit, man? And like I said, going back to the drill stuff, it's just like growing up. I remember listening to Mary J. Blige, and I'm like, God damn, why every time I hear Mary J. Blige, I hear some sad ass song shit, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always some struggle with our people, bro. Like, it pisses me off. Like, I be like, why can't we have music talking about dope ass shit? Like, yo, I just made $100K off this sale. Like, or yo, I just had somebody send me money in my Cash App or my PayPal. You feel what I'm saying? Like, why are we not making songs like that or celebrating that? And god damn it, if we go get into the conversation, let's also talk about the fact the matter gospel music was the same goddamn way. There was a spirit on you when you went to church on Sunday. Like, you just like, I'm gonna get right with Jesus. I've been struggling to pay rent. God gonna hold my hand. God gonna hold my hand. Help me, Lord Jesus. I've been struggling. I've been in the storm, Lord. I've been trying my best to get out of this struggle. I've been trying. I've been fighting. The demons got me. The devil got me. The devil ain't gonna get me this time, Lord Jesus. I'm gonna make it out the struggle. And you sitting there, you be like, my nigga, you just had some dope ass lunch this week and some dope ass nigga. You would sit up there having the extra butter slices, okay? You was having the extra butter and your cream of wheat with the lumps in it and the sugar. God damn it! I went to the Jamaican spot and got me some dope ass, what is it? Porridge, okay? Some dope ass porridge. You think I really want to complain about God right now? You know what I really want to say? Peace of Demetrius. But you know what I really want to say? I'll be like, yo, damn, yo, God had me taste some dope ass porridge from these Jamaicans. Fuck is you talking about? Okay? And Kaden, since we're gonna talk about the Bronx, let's talk about Gun Hill Road to Wakefield. Shout outs to all my Caribbeans out there on Gun Hill Road, all the way out there to Wakefield on the 2 train. Okay? Let's not get it twisted. I used to be up there too. Over there, shout outs to East 233rd Street. You understand? Wakefield 241st. Shout outs to all my Caribbeans out there. So don't think I don't know. I know. You understand what I'm saying? From Gun Hill Road all the way out to Wakefield. Shout outs to y'all. But getting back to what I'm saying, the struggle gotta cease, man. I'm tired of the struggle. I'm tired of hearing about the struggle. I'm tired of fucking hearing that shit. Whether it's drill music, whether it's fucking gospel, whether it's R&B, like, when do we celebrate something positive? In these quote unquote last days, or the things that's happening with people out in this society, yo, like, my whole entire thing is like you need some upliftment in some type of way. You do. I can't bear the fucking crutch, bro. I'm not about to sit and hear a Mary J. Blige record in 2022 and she's complaining about rent. God damn it, Mary J. Blige, you still in your 50s and you still look good, god damn it, with that blonde weave. I want to hear some goddamn celebration songs, god damn it. Fuck is you talking about? Okay? Gospel, we not doing Kirk Franklin no more. Kirk Franklin. Hold on, my fault. I got somebody new in my chat. Shout outs to Skittles Conway. Peace, Queen. What's going on? What's going on? I don't know what hey, hold on. I don't know what Alexis commented. So whatever Alexis commented, Skittles Conway, please be sure to put that in the comment section. But thank you for coming. I appreciate you. But I'm like, yo, look, listen, you on Power, you just put out your new album. Why are you still talking about this struggle love you had with that lame ass nigga that did you wrong, yo? Like, why? Like, I'm trying to understand, like, why do we talk about struggle so much? I'm tired of it, yo. Like, it's sickening to me. And then with this guy that was talking about drill, we talking about, yo, the reason why we do rap music is because we trying to move niggas out the hood. No, the fuck you not, man. No, you're not. No. Like, I understand story time because in the 80s we had story time, right? We had the whole entire thing with Curtis Blow. Don't push me cause I'm cold. Excuse me. Don't push me cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. It's like a jungle sometimes. It got me wonder why I keep from going under. You know what I'm saying? Like we remember those songs because it really was relative and it was like reflecting on the real times we was going through. But sometimes certain times in hip hop or just music or social media, it calls from a cap. You know what I'm saying? It gets to a place where it's like, yo, let's cut the conversation with this shit. I'm tired of having those conversations. Yeah, we're all in this struggle together. New York is not the best place to live in. We got you. But can you find your opportunity in any city or state that you live in? Yes. Can you find solace in any state or city that you live in? Yes. And that's my whole entire point. I promote peace. Like I said, I might get in some fuck shit. I might argue with a nigga tomorrow and still be on some stuff like peace. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I just looked at that today on the news and I just was like, no. Yes, you're from Brownsville, but what's stopping you from getting that real estate projects that's happened with all those new condos that's by the 3 train? What's stopping from you learning that real estate so you can be a man that get out the projects? Why does music always have to be a medicine to getting niggas out the hood? And it's just like what I said last time. Why don't brothers expand on learning different genres of music? You don't have just hip hop, rap, and R&B. What the fuck? In London, you have the so-called black people in London who play drum and bass, which is beautiful. Okay? Like, don't give me that shit. Let me read y'all comments again. Shout outs to Skittles Conway again. You're trying to move yourself out of the hood, not no one else except maybe your mama. And I get that. You do well for your family. You do well for your mom if you was raised by a single mom. You do well for your dad. I always believe in paying back the gifts that your parents gave you, because at the end of the day, you didn't have to be here. You didn't have to be a soul or a spirit that lasted this long on the earth for as long as you've lived, whatever age you are. You didn't have to be here, right? So I get that, but excuse me. It's one thing, and that I'm great that I wanna segment this way into having this conversation about the matriarch, right? And having a conversation, I guess, about the so-called Black community. I'm not doing this shit because it's quote unquote Black History Month. I'm not doing it for that reason. I'm not. Like I said, when I made this stream earlier, it really didn't sit right to me that all of this stuff is happening and dudes are so focused about music being taken away from them, but they're not willing to call out other men on the fuck shit that they're sitting up there putting in the music. It gets to me, yo. And it just gets to me that you have a lot of these brothers that's in their early 20s already dying. What's the urban legend for so-called Black men? You don't make it past 25 years old. Shit, if you're lucky, you can make it to 30. The life expectancy for so-called Black men is that low? Or has the urban legend changed? So getting into this conversation about the matriarch, I get mad at brothers in the space that want to sit up there and talk about so-called Black women all day. Y'all fucking get on my nerves. Because it gets to a point where you have to look at yourself in the mirror and stop with all that goddamn bullshit about you sitting up there talking about you a high value man. Get the fuck out of here. You ain't no high value man. I ain't no high value man either. I don't earn 100K. It is what it is. Certain dudes want to put on a whole entire show and say, I'm better than that nigga. And I'll be sitting up there and I'll be like, bro, what are you doing to change the paradigm for the everyday folks that you see struggling and that you can make a difference on? Why is it this automatic conversation and say, I could get any woman I want, and women out here is having children out of wedlock and this, that, and the third? Let's be real. Certain dudes do fuck shit too. I've known both sides of the story. Men coming into these women's lives and these women fall head over heels for them. They both like each other and this, that, and the third. They have a baby and the constructs is different. Heard from dudes that didn't even want to take care of the child afterwards because they wanted to be on their bullshit. Let's be real. So the single mother thing comes and happens, right? That whole entire thing happens. We move along with that whole entire stereotype. The so-called black child is left in an environment, especially the so-called black boy is left in an environment for survival just like his mother is. You got these fucking public school systems out here who's so ready to pump your child up with all these random ass goddamn shots out here and all these goddamn stereotypes and all these disorders and this, that, and third. As soon as they come into school, they so ready to put that on your child. These so-called white teachers are so ready to do that to your little son. They're ready to do that shit. And then they have these low-ass reading scores. They have all these different things where they can't even socialize. I dare you to sit up there and talk about you want your child to be in Jordans in the nicest fit. Fuck that. Fuck that. And the fact of the matter is that when you tell, when I see stuff like that happens, I'm sympathetic. Because the fact of the matter is all this stuff happens and there's no outlet. So then you have these children, peace to Misha. You have all these different outlets for these kids, and it's just like, yo, now is the time for these schools and these programs to talk about coding as we move into the fourth industrial period. And the fact of the matter that is going to be the metaverse and how they have these slave NFTs and all these random different things out here to discourage the so-called black people and all these different things to explore the world, right? I'm sorry. I'm passionate because I really was sitting back looking at my laptop today and I was really annoyed. I really was annoyed. Like I'm so tired of the struggle stories. If y'all feel me, put a 1 in the chat. Please tell me y'all feel me. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all feel me. I know y'all listening. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all feel me. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't feel me. Please, I want an engagement. But going back to what I'm saying, the reason I decided to do this today was not only talking about the stuff that I seen with all this crime and recklessness around my city, New York, but just the fact of the matter when you see shit like on Clubhouse and you have dudes like Whack 100 having a conversations about Crips and Bloods and then relating that to the community. And I'm like, what fucking community? What are you talking about? How do you glorify this shit and you making bands off of the fact of the matter that dudes is really dying out here? How? Then I was scrolling through Instagram a couple of days ago. I don't even try to go on Instagram like that, but I was scrolling and I had seen how, I seen a couple of things. So first I seen how they had Joe Biden and about how he wanted to have, it was important that he has a black woman as a Supreme Court judge. Okay, that happened. The second thing that happened was talking about how a lot of New Yorkers is moving to Florida and about how, the real estate prices is going to be going up and all these different things is going to happen because a lot of people are sick and tired of New York. And because the fact of the matter is that DeSantis is wants to pony up $5,000 to each New York resident that leaves the state. Okay? Peace to J-Mans. I can't let you in the nation peak, man. I can't let you come in. I can't let you come in, bro. You could go for the Nubian Queens all you like, Mr. J-Mans. Shout outs to J-Mans. But the second thing that I saw, they did that with Florida. He was going to pony up $5,000. So, okay, money grab. Second thing I saw was the fact of the matter that it was this guy that's a real estate developer and about how they want to build this building out in Lincoln Square, Manhattan, which by quick history used to be a town called, it escapes me right now, but there used to be a village before Lincoln Square that consisted of so-called black people and black immigrants. San Juan Hill, that's the name. San Juan Hill, you can look it up. That used to be a town in the 1800s that consisted of so-called black people and so-called black immigrants. And I believe probably a couple of Germans and a couple of maybe Italians. So before it was Lincoln Square, it was San Juan Hill, and that was the 1800s. Just quick facts if you didn't know. So they wanted to build this new building out in Lincoln Center, Lincoln Square, whatever have you, this new real estate. And the construction site was supposed to be sponsored or founded by so-called Black women. Okay, second thing. Third thing that I saw today or a couple of days ago on an Instagram post was about how they have this film school for so-called Black women. And this whole entire narrative, 3% of so-called teachers is so-called Black women. Black girls don't have a chance. Black girls don't have this. Black girls don't have that. So in my thought, I want to see everybody thrive. I mean, regardless of nationality, just to put this out there, just because I'm saying I want to see everybody thrive. I really don't care who you are. Like, you find your happiness, you find whatever you have to do. But particularly talking about the quote unquote community, it pisses me off that if I say this, then it's going to be one of those sort of things that I'm invoking myself into the quote unquote gender war, when I can see the selfishness that's being built in when you're making this all about girls, but you're not making this about boys, knowing the fact of the matter that boys are suffering at a higher rate. I just seen a so-called Black man that's a father in Minneapolis commit suicide. Shot the mother of his child and left the child inside the goddamn apartment while he killed himself. When I talk about mental issues that's happening with men in this society, it's taken as a fucking joke, all right? That people don't want to take this shit seriously, and then y'all out here making this all about a goddamn gender, but then want to talk about community nonsense. Get the fuck out of here, yo. And I only say this because I got family members, bro. I got family members, and it makes me feel some type of way because I have the same exact conversations. You don't think I know so-called Black women who own businesses right now and I support them to the high depths? Are you kidding me, bro? I support them like they my own. And I don't make it like, oh, I ain't going to support you because you a woman and this, that, and the third. I don't do it. I don't do that. But it really pisses me off when I looked at that Instagram post, bro, and I really saw the fact of the matter that it was for the women and like 2 to 3 so-called Black dudes. Yo, like, it really got to me, like, how is it that you have this filming school for the girls, but then you don't have the filming school for the boys? Why are we playing these gender nonsense topics, fam? And believe I got love for everybody, bro. Shout outs to Eyes Loves to Talk. Shout outs to you. I haven't seen you before in my chat, but shout outs to you. You're welcome anytime on the Powwow when I open it up next time. But I don't do this to do a gender war, but it saddened my soul today. It really did. And I'm not here to be all preachy. I'm not here to gather up some type of vitriol and this, that, and the third. But as a so-called Black man growing up, and when I see certain things going on, I can't help but feel like, well, damn, what's going on with the sons? What's going on with these little boys that want to engage in certain things and want to engage in those practices? And why you niggas sit up there supporting that? Why are you not going ahead and figuring out a goddamn way about boys being involved? Why did you have to make the whole entire thing about girls for? Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm gonna read y'all comments. Maybe it's not my place to say, but I think this space is trying to be too many things at once. Yes, it's, and I'll tell you this, Demetrius, it's in a disarray because at 1 minute, brothers want to say we want to come together and we want to be able to look like self-righteous men. We want to be quote unquote high value men. We want to be the men that we revere as respectable and this, that, and the third. All of a sudden, sometimes they want it to be a sausage fest where women are not allowed. And if women come in, they're automatic feminists, or they have to succumb to the whimsical natures of what they speak about so that they are viewed as pick-me's and this, that, and the third. I be sitting here, I be like, yo, like, y'all are all over the place. Y'all want one thing and y'all don't want another. We want plans. We want all these different things to take effect in a virtual space. Like, what do y'all want to do? I'm confused. That's why I just don't say anything. I just feel like, if y'all want to consider me in a quote unquote space, y'all more than welcome to. I don't care. Like, I'm just here. I talk my shit and I do what I do. But it's like, dude, like, help me understand what y'all want to go. Why are y'all 50 something years old sitting up there talking shit about your divorce? And even if you're going to talk about your divorce, use that as a catalyst to help the young men so they don't end up in the same conversation as you. Why is two grown men who's supposed to be the big three of the space arguing with a woman who obviously doesn't give a fuck? You feel me? Well, like, yo, why, like, yo, we know how the woman is. Like, we don't care about this woman, bro. And I know I be talking shit, probably calling her a strag or calling her names and this, that, and third. I admit that I be trolling sometimes. You know, I be having fun. But I just, like, honestly, certain times it's just be like, come on, man. I mean, when I first got in, I was talking bullshit too. But, like, come on, I'm from the Aboriginal sector, bro. Like, that's where I first started off commenting and being engaged in the chats. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my dude ABTV. But, like, the women that was there was so sincere on trying to help everybody find out their lineage so that they could get that money grab and get their land back. You feel me? That was the whole entire focus and the mission about the Aboriginal space. Still love them to death. I come in and out sometimes because I get ragged up in the politics about what's over here. But going back to what I'm talking about, it's like the elders should be leading the way. Y'all are supposed to be the ones of wisdom. Y'all are supposed to be the ones that's changing the paradigm. I mean, it just irks me, the fact of the matter that the fuck shit that's going to be on the algorithm is always going to be talking about dating. It's not going to be talking about what A. Hall was talking about, which is IRAs, or the conversations I try to have about mental health and talking about the things going on at large. And what we should be talking about is, how does the USA, America, gonna do with this whole entire war with Ukraine and Russia? Because don't think I'm not paying attention, y'all. I'm paying attention, okay? Where's those convos? Circular conversations are just fucking circular conversations. Let me read on to what I'm saying. I forgot. I can't help it. I don't know why I think your name is funny. Oz loves to talk. I like it. I don't know why. I love it. I love your screen name. Thank you. What you're talking about right now, I speak about that on my channel. Of course. And I'm always welcome to doing collabos if you guys feel enriched into talking about whatever's on y'all mind. Because I'm definitely always into having different perspectives and going along and, you know, trying to do different things, you know. But going to what I'm talking about, y'all, like, it's annoying. I'm gonna read y'all comments now because I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna pause for a second. It's a space that allows men to vent, allows men to rally, yet under different creeds, allow men to organize themselves, but only some. Too many things at once. Ay. I stay trolling. The elders are the kids in the space, bro. Of course. And I really started to realize that. I really started to realize that. And, you know, if you guys don't know, I try to reel back myself on panel time because I just don't be liking certain dudes that I be beefing with. It's not even like I'm waiting for them to say some dumb shit. Like, I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna catch you out. Like, I don't even want to be about that no more. You know what I'm saying? Let's move into a different direction. I appreciate all you brothers and all you women that come up in my chat. Y'all make me feel good. What makes me feel good is knowing that I know there's people out there supporting me, because niggas always want to talk about numbers and subscribers. Oh, you don't get that many subscribers and you don't have that many people in your chat. It's not that many people watching. I had a debate with that a while ago with someone who did that dumbass shit. And I say, y'all, you can talk all that shit you talking about, but I'm very consistent. And your ass was on my panel talking shit. Stop it. Slow down. Slow down. You gotta slow down. What I am. Obsidian is supposed to start talking to men this year on some KS type stuff. And that's one thing. I think, in my honest opinion about Obsidian, is that he's riding KS's coattail because he's the hot commodity right now. KS, to me, I don't care for KS content. I know that he has some stuff that, yo, Bayou Buddy in the building. I'm glad to see you. Shout out to Bayou Buddy. What's going on? Shout out to Bayou Buddy. I'm glad you're here. But thank you for tapping in. I appreciate you. But the whole entire thing that's going on with KS, I don't really care for his content. I don't give a fuck about what these women want, honestly. They want to say fit, feminine, friendly, and all this other stuff. Like if you live in the real world, some of that stuff is projections. And to me, there's been dudes that's broke that's gotten pussy like nobody's business, okay? That shit is a goddamn lie. Don't be fooled. Don't sit here and like, it's about your vibes as a man. I don't want to hear nothing else about that whole entire, and I'm gonna get into that conversation about that fucking table bullshit, because I don't believe in that dumbass table bullshit either. That table bullshit is bullshit, motherfucker. I hate that shit. Russia just added 7,000 more troops to the border today, SMH. And how many does the US have? How many does America have? Didn't they have 3,000? I heard they have 3,000 troops over at the border. Like, that whole entire thing that's happening with Ukraine and Russia, I mean, I thought it was about America sniping their business into Ukraine, but maybe I'm wrong. But I mean, like, that whole entire thing is ridiculous. And knowing how Russia is, I mean, Russia and America been having beef for a second, especially when Trump was in office. The Russian collusions and this, that, and the third. Vladimir Putin was having beef back and forth for Trump. You feel what I'm saying? So that doesn't, I've seen that before, but I mean, maybe shit is just hitting the fan. And the thing about it is, a lot of people was not even talking about it. I mean, China is going to be the world power soon. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of this stuff that's going on, like, America is not going to be the world power no more. China is. And that's why I made a video on it talking about, like, a lot of, they're prepping their men. And you don't even know it. They prepping their men. That's why they talking about, yo, we need to get that masculinity. We getting that masculinity shit on the table right now. We're not going to be having our men out here looking like suckers. We're not going to do that. Yeah, exactly. And you know what I think it is? Because I thought it was going to be fear-based perspectives at the moment, Kanan. I thought that I thought this might engage into World War III. Because I looked up a little bit about NATO and about the agreements that NATO has, right? I've looked that up a little bit. I'm a little bit rusty on that. I'll admit that, but I've seen that. So, yeah. Shout out to Bayou Bunny again. I don't care for KS. Who's the one I was talking about table? I'm gonna get to your comment in a second, Demetrius. And we're worried about a damn table. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about no table, bro. You know what I say when people talk about if a woman ever asks me what I bring to the table is Bronzeberg, I'm gonna tell them I bring food to the table. You want some? I got some nice food that I cooked, and we can play some Usher while we having this dinner. We having this time to have our little powwow and shindig. You want to know what I bring to the table? I bring some food. You want some? If you don't want some, then more for me. You feel what I'm saying? I got this juice right here. You know what I'm saying? I got this nice cup of juice, wine, champagne, whatever I want. If you want a plate, I'll fix you up a plate, and you can have that plate on the same table I got my plate on. I don't give a fuck about no goddamn table. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that shit, bro. All right. I don't care for KS content either. It seems like a stagnating atmosphere to me. Yeah, because the niche becomes very direct, right? The niche becomes very direct. You talk to women that, certain dudes in the space may say is past their prime or hit the wall. And so you look for the desperations in those women to go ahead and have a conversation. And brothers want to be mad about how KS is able to spark up a conversation with Future. And I'm just like, look, listen, let's really be real. He's a hot commodity. He's going to be associated and he's going to be building with celebrities. Brothers got mad he did an interview with Brittany Renner. Like, the bitch had an interview anyway. Like, what you want? Like, everything is about power and prestige. He's not going to stay around and have conversations with a bunch of grown-ass men sitting up there arguing on a panel about bullshit and then arguing with women. He's not. He's not going to join y'all in y'all filthy-ass arguments. He's not. Fuck that. He's not going to do that. Yeah, and that's what I think. It's going to be World War III, maybe. I can't call it, but money is an enhancer. It makes you more of what you are. If you're confident, you'll be a confident man with money, and if you're awkward, you'll be awkward with money. Yes, absolutely, Demetrius. And that's why I try to tell dudes, we have to focus on self first, because focusing on self will allow you to look at the great parts about yourself and the bullshit about yourself. And when you're on that journey of self-preservation and you understand what's in your mind, everything else is secondary. Everything else follows after that. So you're able to do whatever it is that you want to do. And if you want to get into a courtship, or let's just say down the road you want to get married, you know your self-worth. You know exactly what you're quote unquote bringing to the table, whatever that bullshit is. And now you're able to move in a direction where it's like, okay, I know what I want. This is what I want to do. This is my plan. Because it's really sad for me to see 40 or 50-year-old men in real life where they're still surviving by WIC cards. They're still surviving by government assistance, or the fact of the matter, they never want to make moves to get out their mama crib on Section 8, or they decide to live in the projects and they have the full potential of gaining some type of prosperity. You know what I'm saying? And I really mean that. It's just one of those type of things where, like I said, I want to see y'all grow. I really want to see y'all grow. I really mean that. And I mean, I have conversations like this. I've been in an organization or two, and I showed a lot of love to the brothers that needed a lot of training, bro. Like, I really mean this. This is really from the heart. Like, I want to see y'all grow. And if you're successful now, continue to be successful. That's the truth. We are in a Cold War, and the manosphere wants to talk about women instead of preparation. Inflation is through the roof, and the Fed will be raising interest rate again this year. Housing market crash. Yes. And with that, it's like, how are you going to deal with the storm that's coming, right? Because when I went to the supermarket the other day, I was starting to see shelves that's like empty. And I was thinking to myself, okay, I live where I live. I don't have a garden. I don't have a backyard. But if there's ways that I can go ahead and start piling up on some herbs, some fruits, you know what I'm saying? Peace to Gino. If I can start piling up on some fruits or some vegetables, if I can get if I can get the grass or whatever, no, not the grass. If I can get the fertilizer or all that other stuff, and I can put that into a pot and I can grow some fruit from there, like, why not? You know what I'm saying? And I think that should be the mindset for everybody, because let's just say shit really does hit the fan, and I'm talking to myself as well. Key Food Supermarket needs another key. Shit, they need plenty of keys, Kanan. But you know, preparation is key. And that's just the whole entire thing I'm thinking right now. Like, shout outs to who's that girl that's on YouTube? The one that be talking about gun ownership. I really like her. No, I mean, I like her in a sense. She be talking some dope stuff. That so-called black girl with the red hair. She does videos about she does video about religious. She does commentary about the political stuff, and she's about gun ownership. What the fuck is her name, yo? She's country. What the fuck is her name, y'all? I hope y'all know what I'm talking about. Damn, son. Y'all know who I'm talking about? That girl that was, I forgot her name, bro. But she, you know, she's a so-called black woman. She usually has red hair, and she be talking about like gun ownership. She's from the South. But I enjoy content like hers because she's giving you the game straight up. Like how this country might move into a territory where everybody need to fend for themselves. We're not even talking about how 2030 is about to be smart cities. You're not about to own shit. All right. And they're going to be looking at the suburbs like, how dare you live out in the burbs with a nice house and, you know, how you live out in the burbs and you ain't got no protection. You live out here, you got a farm and you got all this other stuff. Like, how dare you be free? When in the city, they got you by the balls. Everywhere you go around in the city, there's a camera. That's number one. So high surveillance at any cost, right? And then we're talking about how rent is through the roof. We can beg for affordable housing, but they choose whether they want to put in affordable housing or not. New York City has been focused on that goddamn new neighborhood, Hudson Yards. And Hudson Yards ain't nothing more but a bunch of high rises in a random ass mall. And this random little tourist attraction that had to be cut off because someone wind up jumping down from their deaths over there as a suicide attempt. Okay? They've been focused on this Hudson Yards project, and I'm sitting here like, you took the 7 train from Times Square to Hudson Yards just to build a bunch of high rises. This don't even look like this look like some crazy ass, weird ass Lego city, right? And so they can choose to say, we'll have affordable housing. We'll have affordable housing. I used to be in those protests back in the day about affordable housing. Used to get mad at everybody like, oh, well, you know, all you white people that's moving into this neighborhood, y'all to blame. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's things like that where I'm just like, I had to sit back and I'll be like, these protests ain't going to do shit. Because at the end of the day, if you don't own no real estate, you shouldn't be talking. And we know how it is in Manhattan when it comes to real estate. They don't play. Brooklyn on an up and up with real estate, right? Brooklyn been like that since about 2008, 2009, right? So that's the hot spot. What's going to be the new hot spot next? Queens is a new hot spot. Jamaica Queens is a new hot spot. Then the Bronx is slowly getting it. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, bro, like inflation is a bitch. You know what I'm saying? What do I think about New York City owning guns? They should, but they just make everything harder is because they have so much specific requirements on gun ownership in New York. Then it's going to be worse now because of the crime and about how a lot of people are taking in guns from different states. They're smuggling those guns in. So you don't think that there's going to be a regulation, especially from Eric Adams, who is pro-police, who's going to sit up there and say, yo, stricter gun laws, because this is what needs to go on to deter them bringing illegal guns in here. That's what I think is going to happen. Yes, Bayou Bunny, I did see the plan they have for 2030 on the United Nations website. And my honest thing about that is that they want to go ahead and fight a lot of fronts because they want to be able to control people. That's why I keep talking about smart cities. And then you're talking about Elon Musk and the Tesla thing and the whole entire phenomenon with the metaverse and this, that, and the third. And the 2030 agenda, whether you like it or not, I mean, yeah, we could be strong and understand and peace to anti. We be strong. We just need to be aware and cognizant because we're in the first phase right now, if you didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're in the first phase now. Everything is about assimilation and obeying. So then it's going to be like, well, we're going to move towards having equilibrium when it comes to food courts or restaurants, supermarkets or housing. And the thing about it is they want to make housing like living in a dorm. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want to be able to have communal living and all that other stuff. I'm just like, fuck that, nigga. I need my own crib. I need my own goddamn crib. I need my own space to scratch my ass and do what I need to do in my own business. I don't need to be living with 3-4 different people. I don't know y'all. Even if I have my girlfriend over, I don't need y'all being at my house. This is my house. Why are you here? Why are you bugging me? And that's another thing. I'm getting to a point, I don't blame people for being in their late 20s and early 30s, and they might not have a home to call their own, that they still living with their parents, depending on what city it is. If they can't find an adequate job, especially in New York, I don't blame them. I really don't blame them. That's just my opinion, because it's ridiculous. And especially if you're talking about inflation, that's one thing that's being said. So yeah, I did see that for 2030. They talk about expanding Manhattan as far as Red Hook. Yes, I seen that, and that goes along with the whole entire. I think it's a crazy ass idea. Like, why the hell would you want to expand Manhattan all the way from the financial district all the way to where Red Hook, Brooklyn is? It's wild. And then it's like they want to create new neighborhoods and affordable living and green spaces. It's weird. How y'all gonna manage that? I thought New York City is in some type of deficit. So how y'all gonna manage building all these landfills to expand Manhattan from financial district to whatever little neighborhood you want to call it? You know what I mean? Like it's really weird to me, Kanan. I can't agree with that. I don't really stand for it. I don't really. But with that also has to deal with the climate change as well, quote unquote. And that's in my humble belief, because then they're even trying to have protection walls on the Hudson River and the East River to block any type of high producing hurricane or tsunami that might happen in New York from ravaging Manhattan or ravaging New York. Like that goes along with that. But I mean, expanding Manhattan from the financial district to Red Hook, I just don't agree with that. Like, you have too many vacancies in these apartments you can make affordable. I remember last year, a couple of years ago, they said about 50,000. It's about 50,000 apartments that's vacant that could be filled with somebody in that apartment right now. And the average rent for New York is what, $1,500 to $1,700? It depends where you live, depending on the neighborhood. And a lot of people are moving to the Bronx just like they did in the late 60s, early 70s, because it was expensive to live uptown. Still is. And so the Bronx is already the next hot spot, because they have South Bronx, where it's, Morriziana, Mott Haven, and those areas alike, where the housing is going to be like 1,000. And it's going to be like 1,200 to 1,500 if it isn't already. It's probably already 1,700 to 1,800. And then by Yankee Stadium, that's already going to run you about 2,000. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, everywhere you go, you're pretty much fucked. Unless you can get some chill spot in some random ass neighborhood. And that's how you're going to do it, bro. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy out here. Let's see. Housing prices will drop, but that's like a 50 to 100-year job, though. Facts. They keep the apartments vacant to keep rent super high in those communities. Yeah, everything. Well, it's a scheme. And one of the things that they do, but they'll never say it, they also burn certain buildings when they know that the owners of those buildings don't want to give it up. They set it on fire. And then they sit up there and they say, oh, well, we don't know what was the cause of the fire, and it just randomly was burning, and it's unfortunate, and blah blah blah. And then guess what happens? A couple of weeks or a couple of months, all of a sudden you start sitting up there looking at that goddamn same site where there's no buildings on there, and then all of a sudden it's a new condo. Nigga, why the fuck they got a Whole Foods in Harlem? Okay? They're gonna have Trader Joe's next, bro. Let's be real. Dude's gonna sit up there and shoot guns as if it's gonna bring the property value down. That's not gonna change what these real estate buyers is gonna do. And if you was really smart, you would know that they already had this implanted 20 to 30 years ago. Remember what Lawrence Fishburne said in that movie in 1991? It's a process called gentrification. Gentrification is about 30 to 40 years old. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna keep doing what they're doing because they're money hungry scoundrels. 2K to live in the flow, to live in the floss. Right. I like living in the country, but they're raising the rent out here. It's crazy. Really? I didn't know that. I didn't know that about you, Bunny. Is it? Yeah, that's crazy. So I mean, so it's not just the urban environment that's getting that raised on rent. It's also the country. I didn't, I know certain places that's in the suburbs where you can buy a house for like cheap. I think Pennsylvania is known for that. But a lot of people got to be careful with the real estate market in Pennsylvania as well, because Pennsylvania, they're going to start raising their stuff soon because a lot of people from the tri-state area is trying to move over there, trying to get money over there too, right? So, I mean, it's just fucking crazy, yo. I feel you on that though, Value Bunny. That shit is crazy. I never would have figured that. Well, I would have figured that, but I wouldn't think that the rate would be as crazy as the urban areas. I wouldn't think it's just as crazy as that, but goddamn, shit. They burn buildings down to get low income out. Yes, that's one factor, but it's also to collect collateral damage, in my opinion. Because certain buildings that they burned down recently that I saw didn't have any tenants in it. They didn't have any people living there. It was literally like a restaurant, a grocery store, or the Ox Spot, and that's who was there. It had nothing to do with like anybody living in an apartment. You feel me? Yes, insurance claims. Yes, Ken. Insurance, exactly. It's insurance claims. But yeah, I seen that and I was just like, yo, that shit is wild, bro. Like, they trying to collect that bread and they trying to lie and be like, oh, it's a random fire. Like, we don't believe you. You need more people. The property/local taxes are at an all-time high. And you know what's crazy? Would it help if people or an individual came together and started owning land that's vacant, and then start building a house out there or having a little community center or whatever, and then just paving the roads yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like, you kill two birds with one stone. And I'm just thinking that I'm like, what if certain people collectively put their bread up and they said, okay, you own this acre of land right here, and the acre of land that's right next to it, I'm gonna own that too, so that me and my homies and our family, we can start building these houses up together. We can have our small little niche of community. We already got like a year amount of food, and we already have what we need to survive for the time being. If you got kids and I got kids, we can have our own little school, our own little communal school, so we can chill and vibe together, and we can put them through the ranks. You feel what I'm saying? We don't have to go through society to put them in schools or these accredited, institutions. We good. You know what I'm saying? I'm buying a 2-family in Canarsie or East New York this year. If you know what I know, you would too. Bro, I'm pretty sure you got connects, bro. I mean, I imagine it in Canarsie, but East New York? Like, where the fuck in East New York? Yeah. And one thing on that too, NYCHA for a while, I don't know if they became privatized, but I was hearing news because there was a lot of beef with that about how they're trying to kick people out of NYCHA so that they can renovate those projects into privatized condos. You know what I'm saying? And like, change up the scenery and make it look all nice and pretty and stuff like that. Like I said, what you realize when you live in a city like this, it's a dog-eat-dog world. And if you are not paying attention, your ass is going to drown. You will be another homeless person living on a Queens-bound E-train or E-train to World Trade Center. Okay? You will be on that E-train day in and day out. Okay? They don't give a fuck. These homeless shelters, bro, the same goddamn thing, bro. Like, they don't give a damn. They be like, look, listen, I'm you just a ticket. All right? You just a ticket. Can't fight what's coming, it's over. It's either you can't afford it or not. Yes, that's true. I agree with that, Ken. I've been saying the same for years. Black women blowing up to $10K during tax time and we could be going in on a multiplex. I agree. I believe on both sides we're just in a disarray because we're paying attention to shit that don't matter. And especially when it comes to tax time, we're just so glad to get money back from the government, and we're not investing that into something that's going to help us. You know what I'm saying? We're not putting our thoughts into, you know, hey, let me go ahead and start up this business, or let me go ahead and put money down on this real estate. Let me put some money down on this. I advocate for acres of land, buddy. I advocate for acres of land. That's the type of time I'm on. You know, I got a long little process before I do that, but I advocate for acres of land, man. I advocate for that on the steady. What? You have some acres of land in some random ass place like Georgia, Pennsylvania, even in upstate New York. I wouldn't recommend the city at all, but you have some acres of land. Nobody can tell you nothing. Nothing. You got everything in the bag. You straight. You know what I'm saying? That's the stuff that I want to see. And so that's my whole odds on that, y'all. Hold up. I got y'all comments. But what we can do is come together and invest. Those of us that can, get your credit together. Navy, Fed, and MCU is giving away money. Oh, it's amazing. You talk about MCU. I know someone who works in MCU, Kanan. Yeah, I'm on my way of practicing or understanding financial literacy a little bit better my damn self. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say that I'm all the way with it, but I'm definitely happy to be on this journey to really try to understand or get into the mindset that money is supposed to work for you. You're not supposed to work for money. And the thing about it is that too many of us are so slaved into the whole entire 9-to-5 narrative, we don't even see the winning in front of our eyes. And especially today on social media, so many people out here is talking about, I worked for 2 to 3 months and I've made $1,000, or I made a quarter of 10,000. And like, people's getting paid by doing regular shit every day. You got this lady named Keisha Williams. Shout out to that sister. That sister be having a game, yo. I don't give a fuck. That girl be having a game. And I gotta say, she's a sexy chocolate ass woman. I gotta say, she's sexy. Woo! I'm sorry. I gotta say it, y'all. I like me some Keisha Williams. Keisha Williams is so goddamn sexy. Classy, smart, educated. You know what I'm saying? About her business, about her bag, putting us on game. I need a woman like that, goddamn. I wish she would be a so-called pick-me in my world. Fuck that. But I'm saying though, like, the game is, it's an individual mindset. It's just like I told my mans. I said, me and you and the rest of us, we can work towards the things because we have an alike vision. So as long as we have that alike vision, we ain't got to worry about that. Well, I don't need to look at other nations of people and see what they do because that's what they do. You take notes on what they do, but at the same time, you're not relying on trying to ask them, like, what do you do in this, that, and the third? We know what we need to do. So why is it that you don't know that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why don't you know that? But yeah, I'm running out of damn breath, bro. Yeah, and you know what it is? When you talk about that, I mean, because even then you could do the flip with the Airbnbs, Kanan. I think you know that. You could do the flips with the Airbnbs, and you can make, and a lot of people is not even talking about this. What you can do is you can rent out property for parties and events, and you'll be making a serious bag off of that. I was telling my homie that. I was like, yo, you got a business. Why don't you extend your business by owning a commercial space where you can go ahead and not only just do your events, so you don't get stressed out every year that you go into somebody who's giving you shit and trying to tell you this is how much I'm going to pay you, this, that, and the third. Now you got your own spot, and on your own accord, you can start sitting up there saying, rent this space out for such and such and such, and you get paid. Bro, I be telling people, like, I'd be on that wave now. As soon as I get myself to that point, I'm going to start owning rental. I'm going to start owning rental. I'm going to start earning commercial spaces on God, bro. Because at the end of the day, it's always going to be events for somebody that they want to go to. There's always going to be a space that's needed to have a party, to have an event. And yes, I do understand that Airbnb is shaky. I would only say that's just one option, right? That's one option. But I was thinking about that. I was like, yo, you got these commercial spaces. Like, how do these people be having these spaces and paying for the event? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, this is a clean come up. Are you serious? This is a fucking come up, bro. What you know about that, son? You know what I'm saying? Not saying you, Kaden, but I'm just like, yo, bro, this is about the bag. It would be badass if somebody comes up to me one day and be like, yo, I just got like $500,000 for doing like 5 events last week and I wasn't even there. They called me after the joint was done and yo, I got paid. That's what I'm talking about. So, I mean, that's my whole odds on that. Goddamn. Shout out to Kaden. This is Kaden's day ones. You know he always be hitting with facts, yo. I never see you. I know he's always in the comment section. He never be on panels, but it's all right. That's good. Good credit and minimalism can achieve your goals, not a table. Well, that's the point, Kaden. The complexity about the table is to sit up there and say, I already put what I have on the line. So what are you going to bring over here so that I see it as acceptable? That's what the whole entire metaphor about the table is about. Metaphor or simile, I forgot. I think the metaphor about the table. But like I said, when it comes to the table, what I bring to the table is my own motherfucking food and my drink. If you want some, you can have some. But this is my shit. I don't give a damn about no table. All right? I don't give a fuck. But you work for the MTA? You a bus driver, conductor? What are you? Yeah, and you know what's funny with that? I've seen those ads where they're taking in people and it's a lot. They're really asking for a lot of people for the MTA hires to drive the bus, the trains, and this, that, and the third. And I agree. Even if you don't want to do that, you can go ahead and do maintenance at the stations. There's a lot of ways to make a full pull in and stuff like that. Oh, bus hops. Yeah. A lot of bus hops. I know a couple of people. I knew a woman that was driving out of West Farms Depot, and I knew somebody that was driving out of Mother Clara, and somebody that drove out of Fresh Pond. I think Fresh Pond, either Fresh Pond or Flatbush, one of those depots. But yeah, bro, it's serious cake. It's serious cake, without a shadow of a doubt, Kanan. And a lot of, like I said, either you're going to sink or you're going to drown. I mean, when you have opportunities, you can take them. So, I mean, at the end of the day, what is your prerogative? What is it that you're trying to do? You know what I'm saying? But thank you for hearing me rant, you guys. You guys are awesome. You know, I wasn't even expecting it to go this far tonight, but you know, I just wanted to get my my shit off before I get out of here. So you know what I do. Let's see. Hold up. You know how I do before I get out of here. Yeah. And ironically, look who's live now. Who's talking about high demand and high value. Ironically, since we talked about that shit. Oh, shit. We randomly just had a conversation about that. Yo. Okay. Hold on, you guys. I'm about to just get busy. All right. Before I get out of here, make sure y'all like. If you're new to the page, subscribe, get my numbers up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I heard about the cybersecurity too, Kanan. Yeah, security business. I know somebody was trying to get into cybersecurity, but yeah. So before I go, y'all, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys so much. You guys make this every time I stream, I just feel happy. Whoever's listening. Before I get out of here, Saturday, I believe I'm gonna be holding a stream about. There's an article that came out about how more of the older music is being streamed than the new music. So we're gonna have a thoughtful conversation on that, and I am going to definitely expand upon that when it comes ahead. I'm gonna get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Facts. I'm gonna get out of here. You guys be safe. You guys be good.
This goes out to all my niggas on the corner, smoking trees and drinking brown water. This goes out to all my niggas on the corner, smoking trees and drinking brown water. This goes out to all my niggas on the corner. Keep it loud. City, baby. Smoking trees and drinking brown water.
Hey yo, player to player, I got rhymes by the layer and stacks. If you don't know, you better get the facts on what all city be bringing into the cipher. My rap's a deadly weapon. This nigga here's a sniper, never hyper. I be on some smooth type of shit, some laid back and make you wanna move type shit. So light your L's and inhale real deep, but don't sleep. All city be going for the sheep, completely playing for keeps. The shit is ill in the street, so I'm hardcore rhyming over beats. So my niggas, the city brothers can have something to play. While they bouncing in the club, sipping out the day. Hey, my shit is focused, and most niggas notice. My closest, all ale drinkers and lot smokers. The streets stop focus, brothers who keep flipping that green color CB, no matter where you're getting it at. All cities for all cities, we relate to all states and all places. Translators, we demonstrate the lyrical structure. Niggas can't pinpoint or function when you beat you malfunction. I hang amongst the metropolis, niggas no stopping this once the all cities start dropping hits. Shit is fly, no wonder why. It's express style for East New York, the best style.
This goes out to all my niggas on the corner, smoking trees and drinking brown water. This goes out to all my niggas on the corner, smoking trees and drinking brown water. This goes out to all my niggas on the corner. Smoking trees and drinking brown water. This goes out, this goes out. This goes out to all my niggas on the corner. This goes out, this goes out. This goes out to all my niggas on the corner. This goes out, this goes out. This goes out to all my niggas on the corner.